I can't believe you talked me into this.
It's such a mess. Oh, watch the teeth.
Don't go telling your buddies at work about this.
Every tape is pumpkin carving.
Hey, what's this?
The Simpsons was an iconic TV show from the 80s and a massive part of my childhood, as well as plenty others. The Simpsons has been on a 31-year run, making it the longest running sitcom in America. But what was once a golden show with incredibly funny moments and truly heartfelt moments has now become a bland, unfunny mess of pop culture. This is the tale of the downfall of The Simpsons. The Simpsons was an animated American sitcom that debuted in the 1980s with characters like Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa and Maggie Simpson and many, many others. And what was the goal of this TV show? To make the worst family in America. Around the 1980s, many sitcoms were full of the same generic perfect family with a loving father and mother, perfectly behaved and intelligent children. In an interview, creator of The Simpsons Matt Groening said his goal in creating the show was to offer the audience an alternative to what he called the mainstream trash. By mainstream trash, Groening was referring to the clearly fake, perfect American family that nearly every sitcom was doing at the time. Groening decided to make a dysfunctional American family. This includes an unintelligent, misbehaving son, an overly sensitive and intelligent daughter, an overweight slob of a father, and Marge Simpson, who seems to be an overly protective mother. What Matt Groening didn't know was that his little idea of a dysfunctional family would become one of the greatest animated sitcoms of all time, with writers like Conan O'Brien, Dan Castellaneta, Al Jean, and James L. Brooks, and many, many more. The first Simpsons episode, Roasting on an Open Fire, premiered on December 17, 1989. Since then, The Simpsons has made over $4.6 billion from consumer products. Its movie alone grossed $527.9 million on a budget of only $75 million. The lead actors are paid $11 million each year. The Simpsons have become an icon for TV. The Simpsons had an average of 27.8 million viewers during season 1 to 8. Many to this day consider seasons 1 to 8 to be the golden seasons of The Simpsons, with well-written jokes and entertaining storylines each episode to genuinely sad and heartfelt moments that made us all at least shed a tear. The Simpsons is currently in a phase that all of us call
I does what I likes and I likes. I does what I likes and I likes.
According to Dead Homeless Society and TheConversation.com, Zombie Simpsons is used to identify the modern day Simpsons, which is a hollow shell, over-animated, under-thought out and thoroughly mediocre. Most classic Simpsons fans say that the sooner this show ends, the better off we'll all be. In my opinion, The Simpsons has really dipped in its unique storytelling and comedy. Watching from season 1 or 2, we see well-written episodes like Bart Gets an F and Mother Simpson, with not only relatable stories about struggling to pass tests, but also heartwarming character development between Homer and his mother, who he hasn't seen since he was a kid.
At least this time I'm awake for your goodbye.
Oh, Homer. Remember, whatever happens, you have a mother, and she's truly proud of you.
Oh.
And not to mention, it got one of the best Simpson endings of all time. However, these newer ones have stories like Marge becoming a UFC fighter or Homer becoming a prison snitch. It goes from relatable stories to beyond absurd, and not to mention that it was intended to poke fun at pop culture, but now it has become pop culture itself. We go from celebrities playing different characters to celebrities playing themselves, and since most of them aren't exactly brilliant voice actors, they seem so plain and boring compared to the main cast.
Oh, why? That's an idea. White meatballs. Synthetic meat that you can print in your printer. Say something else, please, now.
However, even the main cast themselves are losing their own touch. Here is a video comparing Marge's previous voice to her current season 31 voice.
At any rate, I believe you, and I think you should go outside and straighten this out. Some of their chants are very catchy and memorable. Whoa, okay, that's enough for now. Jeez, come on. Don't make me put you under warm water.
The Simpsons has really outstayed its welcome, now averaging only 4 million viewers compared to their previous average of 27.8 million viewers. It's a huge loss. The Simpsons also seems to have thrown away its original touch and now is just mindlessly following trends like every other TV show does now. And I don't think it's just the trends and the humor that's made this show lose its touch. So this is a very sensitive topic, and I just want to say I do respect all groups that I'm about to talk about. This is just an opinion I want to say, but please do not take this out of context. I respect all groups involved. This is simply just for the talk of the show. I'm perfectly fine if you want to be whatever you want to be. Political correctness has changed a lot of TV shows, not just The Simpsons, but shows like Family Guy, and even old movies and TV shows that get a bit criticised for outdated jokes. So recently, current TV shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy are having to cut down on certain stereotypes and jokes, and that just annoys me. The reason this new Simpsons is hated is because it's become more of a lighter toned comedy show, which not a lot of current Simpsons fans like. Most of us prefer controversial jokes. People try and say they don't like controversial jokes or opinions, but the truth is we thrive on controversy. What made The Simpsons and Family Guy so unique is that they could take these jokes. They weren't scared to take these jokes. They weren't scared to face the backlash. But now as political correctness gets higher, they are more scared to take on this backlash, so they try and avoid it in every way they can. And that just makes it another bland generic sitcom like every other. Not only that, but a lot of groups seem to hate any TV show making a joke on a specific cultural group, and if they do make any jokes, the writers have to make sure that the audience realize they don't mean it, which is ridiculous in my opinion. If I were to crack jokes here and then kept finishing it up by saying, by the way, that was a joke, so please don't take it the wrong way, it gets irritating, it ruins the experience, it ruins the joke. Like, why remove Apu because of his controversial stereotype, when that brings a whole new things to TV shows? And not only does this give diversity between characters, it's also great for Hindu representation, so why remove him? Because he's stereotypical? That's the point of this show. Every character is supposed to be a stereotype. Homer is supposed to be a stereotype of an average American dad who has a dead-end job, is extremely lazy and overweight. Bart is a stereotypical mischievous child. Mr. Burns is a stereotypical evil billionaire. Chief Wiggum is a stereotypical overweight American police officer. So these typical American stereotypes are not a problem, but when the Simpsons bring a diverse character with a different religion, it suddenly becomes a problem. As well as Apu, they decided to switch Mo from the aggressive bartender who suffers from loneliness to a close family friend, and then changed Barney from a character who represents the dangers of alcoholism to a guy who just drinks coffee. Lisa went from a skeptical, isolated individual who's the voice of reason through many episodes to a girl who just religiously follows trends. The only character who I think hasn't changed much is Homer. Homer remains a stereotype as an overweight slob, and he continues to be himself, which I really like. In my opinion, he is the only bearable character in the series right now. But why? Why did this happen? Why did this downfall happen? What caused this downfall? Which episode caused the downfall of The Simpsons? The Principal and the Pauper is the second episode of season 9, and it's considered the episode that changed The Simpsons forever. This plot is so horrible that even Principal Skinner's actor Harry Shearer said, "That's so wrong. You're taking something that an audience has built 8 years or 9 years of investment in and just tossed it into the trash for no good reason. It's so arbitrary and gratuitous, and it's disrespectful to the audience," while also saying it's like punishing the audience for paying attention. The problem with this episode focuses on mainly the characters. Why would you take a character that's been in development for over 8 seasons and destroy them just for one sloppy episode? Not only is this episode horribly written and its jokes unfunny, but the ending is so disturbing. When Armand Tamzarian returns, Skinner's mom actually ties her real son to the back of a train and sends him off, and would rather stay with this stranger who took the name of her son for years. It's an absolutely ridiculous episode. Season 9 was so different from the previous Simpsons seasons. It turns out there are multiple reasons for the show's downfall, including a new writing staff, example being Ian Maxton Graham, who wrote and produced a great deal of the episodes from 1998 to 2000s. He was hated by fans for the quality of his stories and admitting to have barely watched the show. He still won 6 Emmys. The network also wanted the show, being a cartoon, to better appeal to children and teenagers, explaining the more simplistic humor of the new episodes. Overall, I think The Simpsons should have just ended towards season 12 or 13. Leaving a show running for so long, of course its quality would decrease and it would just become a heap of mess. And it sucks, it really does. I loved The Simpsons and every episode made me laugh and cry. However, these new episodes, they just leave me emotionless. This video was the story of The Simpsons and how they lost their way.